Good morning. This is Nicole with Nex-Tech, here to introduce to you Megan Kieswetter, one of the best presenters we have here at Nex-Tech. Megan is very well educated and has over 18 years experience and passion for marketing. This is a pre-recorded video, so that way Megan can be online in the chat to answer any questions that you happen to have. She will also stick around a little bit afterwards just to answer any extra questions you might have. I would also like to thank all of our sponsors that have made this possible this year. Without them, we wouldn't be able to be bringing this to you. Hope you have an awesome day, and let us know if you have any other questions.
Hey guys, Megan Kieswetter here at Nex-Tech. And before we talk about ways to keep our customers engaged virtually, I want to go back a little bit in time and talk about where we came to get to this point. So it started out back at the end of February. My husband and I decided we were going to take an anniversary trip. It was our 1-year anniversary. We were going to go on a cruise, which was what we did for our honeymoon. Bags were packed because I'm OCD, had to pack so I didn't forget something. And literally the weekend before we're ready to go, our cruise was canceled. So then we were like, okay, we'll hurry, flip-flop, try to plan something else to do really quick. End up booking a trip to Destin, Florida instead. We thought, okay, beach, whatever, same stuff that's already in the suitcase. So we get down there, we cancel our flights, drive 19 and a half hours in the car, okay, with my husband of 1 year, and we survived that. Get there, beach is beautiful, we go parasailing, we do all the things. Things were beautiful, right? Then 2 days before we're ready to come home, things started changing. So we went to the local grocery store there or Walmart there to stock up on food, and the shelves were bare, y'all. I was glad I was born on a farm, so I knew how to go to the bathroom if I needed to, right? Because there was no toilet paper to be found, and people were taking everything. The meat, I mean, it was absolutely insane watching people fight over things. So then, also, the same day, 2 days before we go home, our governor decided that anybody that traveled to the state of Florida within that time frame had to quarantine for 14 days. Mind you, I had just spent 19 and a half hours in a car with my husband, a 10-day vacation, and now we were going to spend 14 days together without being able to leave our house, right? And we did survive to tell the tale, right? So we start our quarantine, we get all the way through it, and 2 days before our quarantine's going to end, they decide, hey, we're gonna have a stay-at-home order, right? So for another couple weeks, we were like, the light at the end of the tunnel, we're finally gonna be able to go out and see people and do things. And starting that Saturday, which was literally the day our quarantine ended, there was a statewide stay-at-home order that started. So we got to also spend the next month or so, right? But wait, there's more. Not only did we have the stay-at-home order, but then it got extended, which I know a lot of you can feel that pain. And that happened quite a few times. But in the midst of those things, school also got canceled. So I was thinking, man, as a kid, I would have done anything to have a 6-month summer, right? I would have done anything as a kid to have a 6-month summer. So we had to learn to adapt, right? We had to work from home. We were also having our kids do their continuous learning, which was basically homeschooling. You know, the teachers were running rampant trying to figure out a plan for this, right? And we all just had to adapt. So I want to do our first poll real quick. And I'm curious for you guys all out there watching, how many of you worked from home during this, and how many of you actually reported to an office on site? So if you can just click the poll, it'll pop up on your screen there. Just let us know. I'm just curious how many of you guys stayed at home and how many of you reported to the office during this time. So as we adapted to this new normal, we realized we also have to adapt our marketing. You know, we have all these things planned out and scheduled out, and, you know, within a midst, it was just changed completely. So we also have to make sure that we're not only adapting our marketing, but we're anticipating and understanding our customers' needs through this. So one of the best ways that you can anticipate your customer needs is using the NBA approach, which is next best action. So a great example of this is, let's say that you sell boats and I'm your customer and I come in and I'm like, hey, I'm buying this boat, I signed the dotted line, and you are anticipating that I'm gonna need life jackets, an anchor, a towing rope, a tube, all those things that go with it, which take that pain off of me and that stress of trying to figure that out, and you're anticipating what I'm going to need in the future. So that's basically what MBA is just understanding as a customer, what would I be doing next in the process with you? Make sure that you're honest. You have got to own things and make sure that you're being upfront. If there's things that are taking longer to ship, if someone, you're just trying to get that sale, make sure that you're upfront and say, hey, our shipping times are 2 to 3 weeks out instead of 2 to 3 days. Just sharing that with customers so that they know what to expect, because we all have our own expectations in our minds, so they do as well. Be humble, right? Make sure that this situation, it's not just about me, right? It's not just about us as a company, but everything going on is affecting everybody. This coronavirus thing was all about keeping other people safe. That's why they did a lot of these orders. It wasn't about keeping one person safe. It was keeping everybody safe. So make sure that you're keeping in mind that this isn't just about us. Swap shoes with your customer too. If you sell retail, take home one of those products that has to be put together and see, is this painful? Is it painless? Go in and go through the sales process with your employees and see, is there anything that I would change in this? Is there something that we could do differently to make this better for our customers? You can mystery shop. There's lots of things you could do, but you have to put yourselves in their shoes, because is it something that you would do yourself? And then be accountable. The thing that comes to mind the most with that is in 1982, when Tylenol had cyanide in their extra strength Tylenol capsules, and there was a couple people that died from that. And instead of pushing it to the wayside and acting like it wasn't our fault or it didn't happen, they owned it. They were accountable. They stood up and said, hey, we're recalling every single thing off our shelves. And at that time, it was $100 million worth of medicine they had to recall, which was a ton of money, back then. I'd take it. It's a ton of money now. But if they hadn't stepped up and owned that, they wouldn't be the company they are today. And they also grew from it, which is what we have to do. They not only stood up, but they decided, we're going to add child-proof caps, and we're also going to put a safety seal so that we know that it hasn't been tampered with. So, bear those things in mind when you're trying to be accountable for your business. One of the biggest things throughout this whole thing that we've learned as marketers is you have to have a strong website, right? So we talk about how your website is the front door of your business. It really was during this. And there's still a lot of people that, since they got in that habit of buying only online or engaging with you only online, they're still sticking with that. So there's a lot of different factors that go into a strong website. First, you have to have a good domain name. Is it memorable? Is it easy for people to find? If it's abcdlgh.com, that's really hard to tell somebody, check our website out. But if it's your business, Nex-Tech.com, right, that's a very easy thing for people to remember. Your design's important. Is it visually nice? If I go to a website and I'm expecting to purchase products from them, and I pull that website up and I'm like, whoa, this is bad, or it's old, or man, are their products as old as their website? People think that. People are going to build their expectations or their perceptions off of this, and perception's reality. So if they think that in their mind, that's their reality. What's the purpose of your website? Is it to sell products? Is it to brand yourself? Are you a nonprofit that's looking to grow people to do fundraising efforts for you and donations? You've got to understand what the purpose is to make sure your website is correct. The content is huge. We hear constantly about how important content is. And is it shareable? Is it something that's interesting? Is it something I'd want to read again, repeatedly? For example, an eye doctor, they could, instead of just writing about eye health, things like that, they could take and write an article about, if I sit too close to the TV, like my mom said, is it really going to hurt my eyes? Have some fun with it. And that's something people would be more apt to read than just a boring bunch of white paper. Make sure the user experience is great. That's what UX is. So when I go on your website, I want to be able to navigate anywhere I want to go. If I click a button and it goes somewhere, it should be where I thought it was going to take me. So you've got to watch your bounce rates, how many pages they're going to, how long they're spending on each page, but making sure that it's very easy to get around on the website. Treat it like a map. Contact info. Okay, if I can't tell you how many times I've gone to someone's website just looking for their phone number, right? Or contact info. It needs to be prominent and big at the top of the page, the bottom of the page, and there needs to be a tab for contact us. People expect that. And then whatever ways are best for you. You know, everybody has their own preference. So phone number, email, chat, a form, however you want to communicate with your customers, make it easy for them to communicate with you instead of making it easy for you to have them communicate. Mobile responsiveness is big. So it used to be where there was a desktop site and a mobile version of your website, and now they're all in one version. So if I take the corner of my browser and I slowly minimize it up from the corner, that website page is going to keep resizing itself so it fits instead of stretching stuff out and blurring out images. Speed is huge. When we're talking online speed, 3 seconds or 5 seconds is like 30 minutes in real people time. So I know a lot of us want to host our own websites on our own servers because we think it saves us money or it'll be better in the long haul, but you need to make sure you understand that websites today have a lot more needs and servers have to have certain capabilities to host the newer websites so that people aren't waiting forever to load. Make sure it works with all the browsers. Some people use Chrome, Firefox, Safari. I'm sure there's 20 different ones out there. So make sure that you don't have any plugin issues with any of those browsers at all. And your forms need to make sure that they work. I guess for one thing, test your forms. If you put a form like a contact us form or an online job application or a Q&A form, something, make sure you test it and that it goes to the correct people, who's in that email group that it's going to, and make it easy. You can also use storytelling type of forms where you build on each question. So you ask them, what's your purpose here? And you just kind of keep building on that, and it makes it easy for the customer and navigates their journey on your website. Make sure your website's secure. So it should have HTTPS, not just HTTP. Google will now flag your website and say, this is not a secure website to your customers. And I don't want people thinking when they come to our site, oh man, maybe it's hacked or maybe it's not a legit site. So make sure that your SSL certs are all up to date. And then accessibility. There's a lot of things going on in the US right now about accessibility for deaf, blind. So you need to make sure that you study up on that. And a lot of websites out there will have where you can make the text bigger, or you can have it read to you what the text says on the page, things like that. So make sure that you read up on those things. Incorporate e-commerce into your website. Guys, we just talked about how everybody was pretty much having to go online or through digital tools to do business with people. And now that they're in that habit, if you don't have e-commerce, guys, this could happen again. If it happened once, it could happen again. So there's a lot of things to keep in mind when you're putting e-commerce on your website. Keep it simple. Put yourself in the customer's shoes and think, how easy can it be to buy my product? Because if I have to do a lot of work to buy that product, I'm going to go back to Google, probably where I search, and I'm going to look for the next person to try from. Your images need to be quality images. Cell phones do take good pictures now, but make sure they're sized right too. You don't want them to be blurry and pixelated and look really janky, or someone's going to think you're janky, right, at your business. Make sure that your cart button is easy to find. So I always want to be able to go back to my cart and see what I have in there, or maybe remove things, change them. So that's something good to make sure they can go back and see what they've done. Pricing needs to be visible. The call for pricing or things like that makes it very difficult for people because, again, if they're there, they're ready to buy, it needs to be easy and ready for them to do so. A search bar so that they can search within your products that are for sale. They can go in there and say, X camera, and it'll pop up with that if you have it. And filtering, like when I shop online, I love, like for the kids, right? Because girls' clothes, that's my thing, my little girl's clothes. So I love to filter by her size, her gender, all those things. Make it easy for them to find what they're looking for, and let them sort by lowest price, highest price, customer ratings, whatever they want to sort by. I use that all the time. I'm sure a lot of you do as well. And then the grid layout is the preferred layout for e-commerce as well. So that would be where it's a bunch of pictures all laid out so it's easy to find. So think of some of the big retailers you shop with that would use that. And make the checkout easy for them. When they click that cart button, all they got to do is put in their info, their shipping information, let them save it if possible, if you have a secure website, and a good way of doing that so that they can order again, and confirm that they ordered. Have you ever ordered online and you're like, did that go through? Did they take it? And then you're like panicking until you get an email confirmation that it ever went through, right? And again, make sure it's friendly on mobile, not just desktop, because a lot of people are shopping on their phones and iPads as well as just their desktop computers. And again, security. I'll say that a bunch of times over, but you've got to make sure that it's secure. And when people leave something in their cart, what a great opportunity this is to hit them up with a cart abandon email. Kohl's is like the king of this, right? You'll get that, you'll abandon your cart, then you get that first email like an hour later, hey, you forgot us, or you forgot something. And then 12 hours later, it's like you left something in your cart, and then they'll send one more. And there's a lot of times I go back and actually buy what was in there because I actually just got distracted, right? I was intending on buying it and just got distracted. So social media has been huge. The numbers on social media throughout the coronavirus have skyrocketed. People are going there for news, information, all kinds of things. So make sure that it's customer focused and that you are showing them value, that the information you're sharing with them makes them feel like you're the expert on the topic and that they want to continue to come to you for that information. And it used to be when the algorithm changed that you'd only post maybe 2 to 3 times a week on a business page. Now it's more like once a day or once every other day because people are expecting updates way more often. They've gotten used to that. And remain empathetic. It's really important to regardless your feelings on the coronavirus thing, you've got to understand that there are people with differing opinions out there. So make sure that you're being empathetic to all opinions and you don't put yourself in a position where it'll come back on you. And this is about growing our brand right now. What a great opportunity to show when you're giving back and doing things in your communities instead of just worrying about how much money we can make right now, which everybody knows it's no secret. A lot of industries have been weighed down. What a great time to focus on getting your brand name out there and showing what you can do to support those communities. We survey our customers at Nex-Tech a lot, and it's very interesting how in our surveys before, price was the most important thing, and during the coronavirus and post-coronavirus, customer service is now the most important thing to people. So keep that in mind. And then make sure you're posting on the right social media channels. Know your audience. Is it Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? Who's the right place and demographic I'm trying to reach. And then utilize your fans and your customers for user-generated content. That is huge right now. Having people that are actually using your products, use TikTok, which Aubrey's gonna talk about some in her presentation, and other forms of media to make sure that you're utilizing those customers. Because if I hear it from somebody else, I'm probably more likely than if you tell me how great your product is. And then remember that video is still king. I am telling you through this thing, my kids, if they ask me to watch one more YouTube video, I'm gonna lose my stinking mind. But I find myself doing that too. There's a lot of things that you can do with video. You can live stream, which we've done a lot at Nex-Tech. You can give updates if you're, have an event coming up. You can take your event virtual, and you can check out our YouTube page as well. If you go to YouTube and search Nex-Tech, Nex-Tech, there's a ton of great content about there. I know Aubrey did a video on taking your event online. How-to videos are one of the top growing types of videos out there anywhere. People want to be able to look up and know how to do anything, right? Tips and tricks. We did a lot of little blurbs on LinkedIn and Facebook where we did like 1 to 2 minute videos with just real quick why you should change your password every so many days, or here's some things you should be doing right now for your marketing during this. And when you do product launches or things like that, what a great way to generate excitement and tell a story. Video is so much more powerful because it tells a story instead of just looking at an image. That doesn't garner as much emotion as a video does. So what's the new normal look like? Good question. I think it's a little different for all of us, depending on what industry we're in and where we live at, what part of the country we live in, that kind of thing. But we have to be able to adapt. I think the biggest thing with what's coming with the new normal is adaptability and being able to change on the fly and be ready for whatever life throws at us. So feel free to throw out any questions on here. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. And thank you so much for joining us on our virtual conference. My contact info is here on this last slide as well. And again, hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.
Hey everyone, this is actually Olga. I thought I'll jump in. Megan kind of let me know that you.
Thank you so much, Nick. Did you guys have any questions?
There you go.
I think Nicole was texting me. Surely not. There'd be a technical thing that happened, a technical issue, right? But she is trying to jump on. Was there anybody that had any questions for us that we weren't able to answer in the chat during the live presentation? Anything like that. And PSA, I asked them to make me 6'2", 140 pounds in that video, and they failed. Just so y'all know. Nicole, are you able to get on now?
I think so. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you and see you. Do you want to announce the winner of the gift card for everybody?
I do. The winner is Jeremy. I don't have a last name or an initial.
Jeremy, MVP. If he can put his first and last name and company, if he's comfortable doing that, that'd be great. And if not, feel free to shoot us an email. I'll leave my email there again.
Okay. Yeah, and then we want to thank all of our sponsors that have made this possible for us. That definitely has been great to have all the sponsors that help us get this, especially where it went virtual this year. Totally new for all of us. And then up next, we've got the wickedly effective tips, own social media. And that's going to be put on by Aubrey. So hopefully you all can jump on and watch that also. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. She's another one of our excellent presenters. So hopefully you can jump on and watch that one also.
Yes, Aubrey is wonderful, and she's one of our digital marketing specialists. I would say geniuses more than just specialists, but we're going to hang out here for like 5 more minutes in case anybody has questions. And if you're thinking of a question, don't feel silly asking it because other people might be thinking it too. And I have to get some water, and I'm drinking out of a princess cup, okay, because I have a 6-year-old and I work from home, and I was like, I legit cannot find a cup that does not have princesses or superheroes on it. So fancy china out today.
It's really
did anybody have any?
She's the princess, guys.
Oh, Olga, how do you think your marketing should be ramping up now that things are opening back up? Oh my goodness. I think the biggest thing is just staying engaged. And it's not only like with social media, for example, it's not just about you posting on there, but remember to engage with your customers too. Watch their posts and comment on those and see what they're looking for. Absolutely, Mary, I'll send those to you. This is a great time. Dustin talked about in the marketing chat room that print has really made a comeback somewhat, where people
talked so long about how print is dead or print's going to the wayside. And even though it's not as big as it once was, there's a lot less of it happening. And people, like, I know for me, I was legit pumped up when I got a piece of mail when I was quarantined and then the stay-at-home order. So yes, Diana, feel free to leave your email or email me directly if you want those slides. But the big thing too, you can't ever just stop all of your marketing, because then people wonder, like, man, what happened? Did they go out of business? What changed? Are they still here for me? You've got to remember it's trial and error, and try something. It sounds ridiculous, but you try something and see what sticks, and then you try the next, and what's working, you do a little more of that, and it just, the adaptability is huge. Is that a word? Yeah, adapt. That was a hard word to say. I hope I spit that out right. Adaptability is huge because we don't know what's coming next. So y'all better be on the edge of your seat, ready for whatever is next with the coronavirus stuff, with technology. There's like seriously apps that people talk about. I think every day a new app comes out, and I'm like, I've never even heard of that. Or my kids on these YouTube videos. I was not joking, like, cannot. Was there any other questions at all? Did anybody else have questions? I'm so excited that we got to still do this virtual. I miss getting to see your faces, and see your reactions and see if you're sleeping during the session or not. But it's so great we were able to do this. Can you put up the social media? If you only have Facebook, do you recommend they get Twitter? Okay, so Jeremy, that if you can email me directly or shoot me an email, that'd be great. And then I can get you those slides. So it's all about knowing your audience. So you really need to do a SWOT analysis as a company and figure out your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and figure out, okay, what's the age group I'm trying to reach? What is the gender I'm trying to reach? And what's the purpose of that? But the other big thing is, from a manageability standpoint, do you have the resources to manage multiple social media platforms? Because your message, posting the exact same message with the exact same text and pictures on all the platforms doesn't work right, because people use Twitter for a different reason than they use Instagram, and a different reason they use Facebook. So you've got to make sure that you are prepared, and also the amount of posts a day that you do on each is completely different as well, right? So, and it's really changed. It used to say, 1 to 2 posts a week on Facebook as a business was plenty. And then during the coronavirus deal, it has spiked where people want to be informed every day. So those are the big things to think about. And I would be happy to, have a one-on-one conversation with anybody. We do free marketing consultations. I know Nicole or Ivan would be happy to visit with you guys as well. I'm going to leave my email on here one more time in case anybody wants to email directly or have the slides emailed to them, share any feedback, anything like that. We have about 2 minutes left. Was there any other questions? And make sure, like Nicole said, to jump over and watch Aubrey's. She's going to talk about some new players in the game as well with social media and a lot of the different trends. And she is so smart when it comes to all that social media and digital marketing stuff. Nicole, did you have anything to add? Nicole muted herself. She loves the camera. Right, Nicole?
I did mute myself, and yes, I love the camera. I don't have anything else to add other than definitely jump on Aubrey's, because I think it'll be amazing.
Definitely. We'll give it like 30 more seconds and see if anybody else has any questions or feedback for us, and hopefully you gain some good information today. Like 20 minutes to jam pack that, a ton of info in 20 minutes. I said, good thing that I talk a lot and I talk fast, right? And Aubrey's good at it too. So, oh no, Pamela, darn it. Is this Pam from Hayes? Pam Wilson? If so, do you want to shoot me an email with your phone number, and I'll give you a shout when this ends. Who was the winner for the gift card in here again, Nicole?
Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy. Jeremy, yeah. How could I forget? So memorable.
Information.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing his
last name. Yeah.
Jeremy, if you can see your last name and or in the company you're with, or social security number and bank account information, you know, whatever you want to share. Okay, he sent it on an email. Perfect. Hopefully the bank account info is on that email. Okay, guys, we are going to end this. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to see you in the last couple rounds of sessions and hope you have a great day.
Have
Thanks,
a good day,
guys.
guys. Bye.